Happy anniversary, Wose.
I mean, right here to it, Brother Moore.
Uncle Jocelyn.
Look what a wonder, 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 look what a wonder.
Good morning and happy anniversary, Wose. Look what a wonder we have done, Wose. This song is dedicated for 11 years of struggle. It's dedicated to the people who have been here to help us struggle, and it's also dedicated to the author of the song, Jeruba Osbrook.
Good morning, everyone. So good to see everybody this morning. Happy anniversary, 41 glorious years Wose has been in existence. We've had good times, bad times. We've lost a few along the way, but we're still here, as Baba Kofi said, still in the struggle. We hope that today, something you hear, something we say, something you experience will lighten your heart, bring a smile to your face. We're going to have our MITs, our ministers in training, come and give you some overview from their perspectives today. We have some wonderful music coming your way, and we are just happy to be here again for our 41st anniversary. Some of our originals are here, like Baba Imhotep, Baba Kofi, Minister Makalisi, our co-founder, and all of these new wonderful people that we welcome here. We'll say started in Oakland, moved to, and then we opened up in SAC. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy this. Baba Imhotep and I will be your host and moderators for today. And here we go, Baba. Take it away.
Wait a minute, before we get started, I didn't give this my friend a good enough introduction. She has been with us for just about at the beginning. I remember her, brother Katabasi, brother Lizelle Williams, and brother Kofi. They came to Wose. They were part of an organization called National, it was NBIP, National Black Independent Political Party. And they've been with us ever since. I just love seeing them. I love talking to them, listening to their concerns, but you know what? They're not the people that come and go. They're the people that stay and continue the race. So Mama Ngina, my crown's off to you for being the queen that you are and being the stalwart person, real person that you are. So I just wanted to say that. And now, without further ado, please bring on the Breaths with Ancestors video.
And we said, where are the ancestors? Can you see them? Can you feel them? This song says, sometimes you can hear them. All you have to do is listen. Listen. In the voice of the waters,
Ashe, Ashe.
Love it, love it. Give thanks, Baba Jeff. Those two videos were top ranking. That was outstanding.
Quick thing, Baba. Before we start with our ministers in training, if you want to grab a pencil and paper, so that if, as our ministers in training are going to come and bring forth their thoughts and their ideas for us as we go forth with this unprecedented time that we're in, we have never experienced anything like this in our lifetimes. And how we progress from this point on is going to be interesting. It's a mystery to all of us. And each of us has a gift that the Most High has given uniquely to you. We have the hearers, the seers, the utterers, the visionaries. We have the computer people. We have the singers. So we all have different gifts. So if you can grab a pencil and piece of paper, or if you're at your computers and you put in notes, so that if you hear something that you might want to have elaborated for you, or if you see, well, like, oh, I'd love that idea. I want to help in that. I like this. I want to help there. So that we have those things. And we will tell you a little later in the service how we're going to bring all of these wonderful ideas and thoughts together. Take it away, Baba.
All right. I don't need to say anything, Baba Jeff. Jeff, we don't see Rudy. As Baba Jeff restarts our video, let me just say,
in paradise where there's every fruit for your soul's delight. My gift to you, these things and more I give to you. The healing power to
I'm going to start it over again. Oh, here we go. there's every fruit for your
For you, glory and grace, 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 and love divine from on high, power, light, and take care of my love. My love is all that I have to give. All that I have to give, I give to you. All things and more I give to you. The healing power to all for you. Glory and grace, 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 and love divine from on high, power, light, and grace. These things and more I give to you. Glory and grace.
Excellent, Rudy. Excellent.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Yay. Woo.
Oh, that is
Ashe.
beautiful. Oh my God. Wow.
The spirit, the spirit, the spirit.
Minister
Thanks,
Michael,
Cynthia.
Minister Emotep, do you want to say a little bit more about who he is?
All right. Yes. Thank you, Baba Jeff, for that video. Yes, that Rudy Wangozi was a musical director of the Stones of Fire at a certain point in the history of Wose, and a native of Oakland, accomplished musician. His full name would be El Haj Rudy Wangozi, because he is a Muslim, and he went to Mecca during the official Hajj season. He currently resides in Ghana, and he is newlywed, I think a couple of years. He married a sister in Ghana, and right now he's currently visiting the area, and he will be here in Sacramento live at Sacramento, Wose Sacramento's Kwanzaa celebration on Umoja night, December 26th, from 5 to 9. We don't have any flyers right now, but we'll get the flyers out to you in case you'd like to come and be a part of us. But we give thanks. Rudy visited us a couple of weeks ago, and we were able to film him doing that. And he's going to come up later in the program with another favorite from back in the day. All right. And so now, I'm not sure whose turn it is, Mama Ngina. Am I introducing our MIT minister? So these are the next people that we're going to hear from are ministers in training that are located in Sacramento. Well, sort of. Bill started in Sacramento, but now he's in Florida. But because we're here on the Zoom, you could be any place. You can zoom in from Florida. You can zoom in from Texas. You can zoom in. You can zoom in from your bedroom. All right, that's so we're giving thanks for their contribution, their study. You've heard them speak in one way or another, and they're going to come now and give us a welcome. Brother Bill Johnson and Brother Malik Shabaka Kafele.
Happy anniversary, we'll say.
All right.
We celebrate our 41st year together, together in Oakland. I should acknowledge a few things from our new 2021 perspective. Our second year online has reminded us that at our core, we're one people with one love, sharing one faith, manifesting one God. And physical location is just one of the fetters our ancestors cited long ago. The spirit of Ma'at is in us and with us, wherever we are, wherever we gather. We progressed as one people, working first in one place, Oakland, then two, Oakland and Sacramento. Where guest speakers have visited either location, all of us have gathered gladly to share. Our ministers have shared the work of leadership throughout, traveling uncounted miles, not just for Sunday messages, but for all the work we need as a people. Our generous musicians, drummers, singers, guitarists, pianists, and all have joyously served as if Ottawa and Holly were just a block apart. Even now, we long to share a meal again, to hear of our sisters and brothers' lives, to feel their resonant voices, and see the full glow of their joyous spirits. Though we miss the closeness of our sanctuary, we're glad to be one community, one family again online. Special thanks to our inspiring Mama Darnisha for easing us online. Paraphrasing Minister Greg, until you've experienced a functioning African community, you can't fully imagine one. Experiencing Wose in person and online has strengthened my imagination of what an African community can be. I'm really grateful for the strong spirits who made Wose real 2 generations ago and look with glad anticipation to bringing our next generations forward together. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. Oh, what a glorious day that Ra has brought. Uncle Johnson, their family, in keeping with the best of our African traditions and customs, it is customary to seek permission before one speaks. And I seek permission to speak.
Brother Malik, let us hear you. Free, please.
Thank you, Minister Michaelisi. It is my honor and my privilege to be part of this Wose Oakland's 41st anniversary celebration. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge recognize and pay homage to our missionary leader and founder, Minister Makalisi Ozo Sawande and Minister William Calhoun, and following in their footsteps and their leadership to acknowledge Minister Linzel Williams, Minister Imhotep, Minister Doris, Minister Alicia Lovelady Teasley, Minister Greg Hodges, Minister Hines, and all of my MIT MITs in training, Minister Sidney and Rana and Shango and Molly and Bill. But you know, a church is more than just brick and mortar. It's comprised of people and spirits who serve an almighty God. And there are some pillars who hold up the Wosei Church. I just want to mention their names. Mama Ngina and Mama Akanke and Brother Alaman and Brother Kalabase and Mama Pam and Mama Fanya and Mama Rose, Baba Tai, Mama Connie, Mama Darnisha, Baba Ustadi and Baba Kofi and Baba Jahi and Sister Sia. And of course, our ancestors, Yasiri, Mama Teresa and Mama Aset. 41 years, Wosei. I just want to say happy anniversary. From ancient Waset to Wosei, Oakland, we celebrate, honor, and acknowledge 41 years of leading, of teaching, and most importantly, 41 years of practicing the way of Ma'at. The founders of Wosei, Oakland, through much sacrifice, ridicule, condemnation, and perhaps consternation from naysayers and disbelievers. They refused to accept European religious concepts and indoctrination and decided to return to the source, the African source, the foundational source, which preceded all religions. The founders chose to embrace, learn, study, adopt, teach, and share ancient African precepts of religion, and most importantly, spirituality. Thus, from Waset to Wosei, Wosei, Oakland was born. Thank you for 41 years committed to African excellence, African history, and sustaining African cultural mores. Thank you for having courage, faith, insight, an unwavering commitment to embrace, to learn, to teach, and to build an African spiritual center based upon the religious beliefs and tenets of our ancient African ancestors to bring forth and deliver this place, we'll say. Thank you for providing an environment of African pride, African respect and love, where we can adorn our beautiful Black bodies in the bold cultural fabric of our people, where we can properly pronounce African-inspired names that we chose through the power of self-determination, and where our African spiritual locks flow freely. Thank you, 41 years infusing the foundational principles of Ma'at into the hearts, minds, and spirits of our children, the children of Ile Omade and the community at large. Thank you for 41 years of living, of speaking, and being the living model and adopting and practicing the principles of African nationhood, the Nguza Saba. Thank you for 41 years and counting, building for eternity on the foundational principles of Ma'at. Congratulations, Wosei, Oakland. Your future shines brightly with a new cadre of ministers in training, ready, willing, able, and honored to serve. Thank you, Wosei. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes, yes.
And thank you to ministers, MIT in training, Brother Bill and Brother Malik. And now we will have another song by a phenomenal group that came to us a couple of months ago. And the name of the group is To Be New Cultural Gatherers. It's Baba Brian and Sister Zakia, I think. And if you are there and ready, take it away.
Well, thank you. And thank you, brothers and sisters of the Wose community. It's really a pleasure to be here. My name is Bryant B. Bowling.
And I am Zakia G.E.K. Part Bowling.
And we are the To Be New Cultural Gatherers. Yes, it's just such an honor to be asked to come here today to help celebrate the 41st anniversary of Wose community. When Brother Ty called us, we was elated, and we wanted to do something very special for you. So we prepared some compositions, and we do have something in the end of this program that's going to be very special for you as well. The song I would like to start off with is a song that I learned many years ago when I was a freshman down at Shaw University of North Carolina. And brother, the great I.B. O'Doon of the Last Poets came down to North Carolina at that time, and he was taking a break out of New York. And he formed a little ensemble there, and I was a part of it, and he taught me this song, and the name of the composition is called You Gotta Think About It.
And the name of my poem is entitled Looking Through My Eyes, number 5.
Do you see with your eyes, or are you disguised to the eyes staring at you? Will your friends be around to help when you're down and give just like they love you? You gotta think about it, you gotta think about it, oh yeah. 'Cause sun without shine is no peace of mind, and loneliness becomes a disease, brother. Loneliness becomes a disease. Are you for real? Do you know how it feels to live down in the gutter? Will your friends be around to help when you're down and give just like your brother? You gotta think about it, you gotta think about it, oh yeah. 'Cause sun without shine is no peace of mind, and loneliness becomes a disease. Sister, loneliness becomes a disease. Can't you see that life is reflected and everybody feels the same? Now you make me feel so rejected. Life becomes a deadly game, brother. Life becomes a deadly game. Hey, by the way, hey, by the way.
ourselves far and near. Looking through my eyes, it's no wonder we persevere, cherishing our heritage that brought us here. Cultural traditions planted firmly in soil, blood soaked from ancestors' toil. Family challenges could bring a tear, yet gives us the courage we often fear. I see lightning clap, I hear thunder roar, holding on, standing together, powerful. This is the moment that opens the door. Looking through my eyes, collectively we advance the banner, creating a future legacy to unify our bond.
You gotta think about it. You gotta think about it. Oh yeah. 'Cause sun without shine is no peace of mind, and loneliness becomes a disease. Brother, loneliness becomes a disease. Hey, Broadway. Hey, Broadway. Hey, Broadway. Hey, Broadway. Ba-do-ba. Ba-da-da. Broadway. Do-ba-do-ba-do-way. Yeah!
Woo! Yes.
All right. Give thanks and praise. I love that song. I love the singing. I love the music. And I always love it when someone sings in my range. That was great. Beautiful. To Be New Cultural Gatherers. And you can find them also on Facebook and YouTube. They have some YouTube videos. Beautiful, beautiful works. All right. Now, coming up, we have our presiding MIT Future of WOSE in Sacramento and Oakland, Minister Mally Latham, Sister Rana, and Brother Sidney. They're going to come before us. I don't know if they're going to be in that order, but we're looking forward to hearing from them. And so they have been studying with us for almost a year now, and bring a lot to the table in terms of dedication, in terms of knowledge, and in terms of wisdom and overstanding. And so we're looking forward to hear their message just to us today. And so without further ado, our MIT's Mally, Rana, and Sidney.
Good job, Chanel. I am MIT Mally. I am going to start off the rotation with my fellow MITs from Oakland section of our Kepper group. I'm going to focus in on the vision for WOSE. The vision for my ministry and its interconnection to WOSE and WOSE's future. Ashe?
Ashe.
So first and foremost, following in the tradition that my fellow MIT Malik so masterfully did, I also want the permission before I share from our resident seniors, elders, and so forth.
Please continue, bro. Ashe, Minister Mally.
All right, thank you. So, and to share what my vision and ministry is, I want to focus in on 3 areas. You heard ably and capably from MIT Bill and from MIT Malik speak about the history and the current state of where we are with Losay. And what I want to share is the future, the vision of where we are headed and where we can be headed, and what is the role with my ministry in particular, but also ministry in general for Losay. Is that all right this morning?
Take your time. Take your time.
So the 3 areas that I care to share for are the foundation of faith, outreach, and expansion. The foundation of faith is simply that which we carry with in our mode of the sacred African way. There are the 3 pieces of Ma'at, Nguzo Sama, and what I also want to share is the virtues. Now, I'm not going to break down any of these pieces. I just want to share with you how that vision and where it comes from and how my ministry is connected to it. Maybe in the future when I have a message, I may speak to that. But for now, I just want to say that the foundations of faith are in those areas. The Ma'at, which is our overriding principles and guidelines, are outcomes of our faith, and the Nguzo Saba, which are communal principles that help us and guide us, and then these virtues, which I believe are our personal way to live. I believe that is our significant piece of Losay and where we are headed. Because if we're going to grow, if we're going to reach out, we first have to make sure our foundation is stable, that our membership is solidly secure in what it is we say we believe. Because if we're going to reach out and we're going to say, come on down, we got to be clear and consistent about what we're talking about, who we are and who we be and how we be. And those things are covered in Ma'at, the Nguzo Saba, and in these virtues. Also, in the area of outreach, how do we move from where we are here in Sacramento and what we do in Oakland and touch the communities we exist in? Part of the vision I see, and part of where my ministry will be in support of, is an outreach into other places of faith, into other communities and institutions within our communities, local and further out, that we're not just going to be limited to doing something at the church house, but we're also going to step out of our own church house and touch those neighboring facilities, organizations that exist around us. We're going to learn how to have some alliances and connections to those areas and elements within our neighboring and associated communities. Ashe? I know it might sound a bit elaborate. It might even sound a bit high-minded, but understand that's what a vision is about.
Ashe.
Yes, it is good that we are grounded. Yes, it is good that we have a clarity about what it is we know and understand. We also want to be willing to look outside of ourselves and see how we can interact, interconnect, and engage with those around us. Then there's expansion. Expansion is how do we grow? Fortunately, one of the blessings and opportunities we've been given by the pandemic is Facebook, is online, is Zoom. Those are opportunities to exploit for expansion. We've already proven we can talk to folks simultaneously in Florida, Alabama, Washington, D.C., Virginia, LA, and Atlanta. And part of that expansion is not simply to be talking to folks in those other areas, but how do we build it? How do we make them like almost miniature Wosays in all of those communities? You know, Minister Bakalisi has spoken many times, and I hope you remember, that he talks about how do we have the Wosay actually exist in other places where we are. Well, because we now talk and communicate and interact on the online, now we can actually talk about how do we build. Already there's an organic part of it, because as the sister in Atlanta proved, all you got to do is start talking to people you know. Then there's also the organized part of it, that as we share what really is the sacred African way, which means we also got to get better grounded in it, so that when we talk to people and they say, well, what you about, we have a consistent message about speaking to folks about that. They need to honestly hear and know what it is we're trying to share. And then the other part of expansion is to be able to reach outside of the limited circle of just what we do here on Sunday and do some things the other 6 days of the week. That's why it is interconnected to outreach, because there's stuff we can be involved with that reach out into the neighborhood, everything from food programs, the youth activities that WOSE can itself sponsor or co-sponsor with other entities. And of course, then it rolls right back to what I was talking about, which is one of my favorite pieces about the foundations of faith. We can be flexible, but we should not compromise our principles. So yes, we want to reach out, we want to interact, and wherever it is that we have unity about the things that we want to engage in, let's do it. Where it is clear is that we also do it in our principles, that we don't abandon the virtues that are important to us, that we don't do things in isolation, yet we also can respect the diversity around us and still be who we should be. Is that too much to expect? Is that a little bit out of our range? I hope nobody's scared about the vision I'm talking about, because that's exactly my ministry. My ministry will, I haven't yet found the name for it. Maybe the MIT process will find what that will be titled or what it'll be organized under, but I do know those are my areas of focus. For me, I want to be part of the part that where we educate and we build our foundation of faith, where we reach out from where we are to other institutions and organizations around us, get involved in other activities that are part of the everyday life cycle of our neighborhoods, and that we also expand inside and outside, because we still got some work to do on our family levels, on our personal levels, and within the church community. And then we can also expand on the external. I hope that doesn't sound too large. I hope that doesn't sound too expansive, yet that is my vision. That is my hope. And I truly believe it's within the grasp of WOSE. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Asheo Jose.
Ashe.
Thank you so much, Minister Malley. I have the baton and I'm running. Let's do it, Jose.
Go for it.
Amin Jose.
Uncle Jasineb.
Minister, hey there, Minister in Training, Ronna Thurston here. And want to talk to you a little bit about my thoughts, my vision. And if you guys haven't picked up by now, I'm kind of methodical. We'll just blame that on being a Virgo, and we're going to go with it. So there are 3 areas that really, since day one, even prior to getting into the whole minister in training thing, 3 areas that really stuck with me as things that were important to me. One is the youth, okay? And when I say youth, I mean from, and this just says how old I am, that this is what I call youth. When I say youth, I mean 2025 to 4045, right? And I see this group very much as a huge part of where we want to go in the future. I see giving this group attention as a huge part of where we want to go. These are the people who are still in school and have access to the universities, the colleges, the fraternities, the sororities, those people who are in the process of having their minds and their consciousness developed. I see this group as those who are just entering the workforce. Well, maybe not just entering the workforce, but entering the workforce towards their career, more so than just, say, a particular job. And these people are going to be the ones that have, again, access to people at companies and employers, and also have information for Wose about what's going on out in the industry, what's going on out in the world. So that's why I look at these groups. But even more so than that, and I think it's probably come across in my messages, that 20 to 25 up to say 40, 45 year time was a very important time in my development. And I think just from other people who I grew up with, that we were all kind of in the same age range, it was a very important time in all of our development. And being able to have access to mentors, being able to have access to spiritual guidance, being able to have access to people who had already done or already gone down the roads that we were going down would have been a great help. And when they were available to us, they were a big help. So that's something that's important to me. The other thing, equally as important, is that, and I've said this before, but I'm consistent. I'm going to stick with what's important to me. The other thing that's really important to me is, as I call it, returning Wose to its earned seat of greatness in the community and communities where we are. As with many of us who are, I'm just going to say, under 60, there are some who came to Wose growing up with parents, with aunts, with friends, or what have you. But then there are a lot of us who knew Wose through our parents, knew Wose through aunts and uncles and what have you, and know and have heard even from a lot of you, from people on Council of Elders, about how amazing Wose has been and still is, but it's just different now in its time. Have heard about times when there were 200 and 300 people in the seats. Have heard about times where speakers, renowned speakers, were vying to get into Wose. And we weren't having to go out and try to haggle them down or get on their calendars. They were trying to get to us. And I would just really love in my lifetime to have that, not just for myself, but as I said, for all of our population and our future population, that's say 60 and younger, to be able to see Wose in that light of just greatness and in that light of that position as a pillar within the community. Again, obviously, it's going to be different than how it was done before. It's going to have a different feel. It's going to have a different vibe. But just whatever it has the potential to be, I want to be a part of seeing that it gets there in my lifetime. And that all of us who have been a part of it, like I said, whether it was through our parents or friends or what have you, but I want our stories to be a part of what the next generation experiences, just as we're able to hear the stories from many of you who were here and were a part of the 80s with Wose. The last thing that I want to just touch on is that we have something at Wose called Circles. And it's called, I believe it's maybe Commission of Circles or Circles Commission, something to that effect, which was initially put together to be a, for lack of a better word, social support system to ministers of, to the people of Wose. You could get a ride if you needed a ride to church, whether it was because you had no car or whether it was because your car is broken down. You could get a bag of groceries if you needed food for whatever reason that might be. Maybe you were out of work for a moment, or maybe hard times had struck, whatever the case might be. But it was set up to be a support system. Now, this one is going to get a little rich, y'all, but I've been thinking about this for a moment. So basically, the way I would like to see it in a nutshell, and again, this is just a vision. So this is going to take time This is going to take fine tuning. This is going to take other people. This is going to take a lot for this to be pulled off. But I see there being these circles, and each circle would be seated, if you will. And when I say seated, I mean each circle, each main circle is going to have a healthcare professional in it. It's going to have somebody who's active or an activist or active in the political doings of your particular community. It's going to have a minister liaison. So whether that be me or whether that be one of the other ministers in training who have become a minister by then, it's going to have an anchor, would you say, in the ministry. And those are the things that are going to be a part of each circle. So they're going to be geographical in my vision, but then they each will be seated with these core things that would be needed for each group to have access to. And then I see also some subcircles. And the subcircles will be things like college prep groups for, again, these youth and getting them ready for university, getting them ready for college, getting them ready for tests and applications and those sort of things. I'd like to see a basic cooking circle so that, again, our youth, men and women, can learn some basic cooking skills. I don't think that everybody necessarily has to know how to make a croquembouche, but I think you should know how to make a pan of cornbread. I'm just saying. I'd like to see an exercise circle. I'd like to see a men's group. We have Women of Rose, but I'd like to see a men's group. I heard there was one at one time. I'd like to see that going again. And a social group. On a bigger scale, something that no matter where you live, you can be involved in. I'd like to see us have an Ile Omide alumni circle. I know that we have an alumni group presently. I know that we have alumni functions. I'm not sure how often they happen, but I'd like to talk with the people who are involved in that about how can we help and support the alumni? How can we work so that we can come together as elders and say, where are you working now? Have you started your own business? What company do you work with? What are they doing? How can we come together and pool our efforts to help those Ile Omide graduates reach their maximum potential that's out there for them? So, I mean, I know it's big thoughts and big dreams, but that's how I think, y'all. So I hope you're with me. And then the last circle that I think about, and again, this is one that it wouldn't matter where you live, it's about buying Black. You know, I talked about before the Black banks and this and that and participating in that. But again, let's begin within. Do we have business owners in Rose right now? Do we have people, again, like Mama Darnisha, and I'm not picking on you, Darnisha, but do we have people like Mama Darnisha who has a website that where she sells things and she's importing things from Africa? We have, like in Sacramento, I know that we have the young ladies there who have products that they're selling and food and different things, whatever it is. How can we at least first put our money towards our own people, Rose, and then look at how can we help to support and grow what it is that they're doing? So again, it's big ideas. I can't do it alone. And let me also say that some of the things that I just named off as far as some of these circle ideas are ideas that my other ministers in training have expressed at different times as thoughts for circles when I've had that conversation with them. We can't do it alone. We got to be willing to, as Mama Angina said earlier, we all are different. We all have our different vibe, our different way. We all have our different areas of expertise, and we have to be able to pull on each other to get things done. That's it for me, Rose. Ronna Thurston, MIT. I'm out of here.
I say.
Go
Greeting in the name of His Majesty and Pride, I Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Thank God.
Thank God
for delivering this church will say. Thank God for delivering this church will say. Here we go. Thank God for delivering this church will say. Come on now. Thank God for delivering this church will say. Last time. Thank God for delivering this church will say. Come on now. Thank God for delivering this church will say. Hey, will say. As you know, if it was we were in the sanctuary in Sacramento, or the sanctuary in Oakland, we jumping out like that. That's the Stones, how we do it. We jump out. Thank God for delivering this church. We'll say Ashe. I just want to take a couple of minutes to touch on or to kind of bring together what we've touched on so far with the MITs. And I pray that, you know, you'll kind of follow and go with me for a minute. I think as MIT Malley had mentioned, we had this cohort that we have is called the Kepler Group. And we come together and have been studying for like a year. And backing up, you know, we have studied for with the new members class prior to that. But as you've seen, we got some dynamic ministers come, you know, in the pipeline coming down. I say we had we have we call him the professor, but Bill is just, you know, he's the professor. He's just a walking a supercomputer. Then we got my brother Malik, and he's the one that introduced to me and to, I think, most of the community, the militancy of my eye. Shay, we had this sense of it being something passive, you know, like y'all know what I'm talking about, you know, just the 10 rules, you know, or the golden rules of this, that, and the other. He said, no, you know, it's a little bit more forceful than that. Shay. Yeah. Then we have my sister MIT Rana, and you know, she's that spark, she's that fire. She sits in there and she gets it going. And then my brother Minister Malley is someone that he and I have been through the I think as Shaka Khan says, been through the fire. You know, we go back a ways, and we've been through some things together, and the way the Spirit works, we just met back up around being in a spiritual community. I say we've been in and out and done some stuff like that. We've been knowing each other for a while, but it comes together. That's just the power of it. And then I have, and I'm about to get back to it, my brother Sean Go, and I will tell you, my years of college and reading and such, he came up with Maslow's theory of a hierarchy and needs. Now, come on, y'all. What? Maslow's theory? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. I haven't said that word 3 times in my entire life, and probably only seen it written down 1 time. But he's introduced the concept of challenging folks for where we are and what we're doing. And this dynamic group that has come together has really been so rewarding, at least for me, and I think for everybody. Just a little background before I move on. It's like under the leadership of Minister, our Minister Makalisi, the founding Minister Makalisi, my dear brother Minister Imhotep, our Minister Sister Alicia, and our clerk elder Brother Ty had initially began meeting to talk about starting a new members class. Why we do the new members class? Well, as we know, the pandemic had hit, right, Shay? And it's just a genius in the ability to move around with African people. The pandemic hit, and I want to say the announcement came out on Tuesday, like the whole country is shut down. And so it kind of reminds me of Ileoma Day, in the sense that the country had shut down on Tuesday. And I believe me and Ty or whoever, if we hadn't actually called and spoke to one another on the phone, Shay, we were thinking about speaking to one another to talk about setting up a meeting to figure out what it is that we're going to do. By Wednesday, Mama Darnisha called and said, oh, I got it. This is it. We talking about setting up a meeting to figure out where we're going to go. Sister Darnisha that already financed, but took her money, got our Zoom, tied it together, put together this dynamic tech group that had Professor Maynew and Brother Bill and Ty, everybody was there, and they had already put it together. We did not miss one Sunday. I mean, that's how it moves. I mean, I'm feeling like our ancestors were rolling a certain way, and then bad, what would look like a dark cloud, a storm to whoever those are that were trying to control stuff for us. We're saying, look at us. We move within chaos. I say we have learned to just function and move and make things happen within a chaotic situation. Next thing you know, boom. Now the Sunday before it shut down, we may have had our traditional 18 to 20 members. I don't know about Sacramento, but I know Oakland, we had 18 to 20. I don't know what you had in Sacramento, but I assume it was probably in that same neighborhood. We opened up on Zoom, and next thing you know, we went from 18. All of a sudden, the number was 40. Then the numbers was 60. We had like tripled in size in a matter of weeks within a pandemic. I say that's what I'm talking about. The spirit just has a way of just kind of moving. It moves you along because we wasn't there. I wasn't there. Spirit said it is time to get moving. And so as we grew, all of a sudden we're talking about, let's bring in some new people. We're calling saying, well, how can we join this church? How can we join this church? So me and Ty got together and we're saying, well, it's time to start. We better hurry up and get our, get the new members class together. Sat down with, got Minister Makalisi and my dear brother, my good brother, founding member Makalisi, but my good brother, Imhotep. And I hope he doesn't take this the wrong way. I had to look it up 2 times. It came to my mind. Minister Imhotep is one I call let's say Makalisi is the visionary. I say he's the founding member. He and Brother Bill were speaking on a whole nother level at that time. I say they were talking about starting a movement. Then we got Minister Imhotep, and I call him esoteric. And I mean esoteric in the sense that I had to look it up. If someone that got some deep knowledge of the universal and of the universe and the lessons there within. I say, you following me? Makalisi, then we got Imhotep with this broad knowledge of the universe. Then we had Minister Alicia comes in. And we started to put together a class for new members because we were growing so fast. And I get to MIT. We were growing. Then all of a sudden, as we started growing, we set up one class. We had too many people for one class. We had to open up a second class because the numbers were just growing. And while we were meeting, I messed around here as we were talking. I'm gonna call him my dear brother, Clerk Elder Ty, is just where he is. He's the retired fireman. And I know that my brother Malik can attest to this, that when the firemen show up, they ready to go to work. I mean, they don't just drive up to a situation and get out and, fix a cup of coffee or anything. And that's just in his DNA. When Ty shows up, he's ready to go to work. And somebody said, hey, I think we need to put together the minister and training program. We were like, what? Ty, bam, let's go. Write it out. How we do? Put it down. And it started moving. And we put it together, and we had those who were interested to step forward. And like I say, it's been a wonderful collection, a cohort of folks coming together to figure out what it is that we need to do. Let's put this together. Let's follow in the footsteps of our ancestors and put something in place. Wonderful thing about it as we go, we say like, well, what are we going to do? Some folks will look at a church in a traditional setting and say that a church got its leader, it's one minister, and then everybody else got to kind of wait until that guy steps well or that something happens, and he's no longer there, and then it's the next person. It's an essential process. But we saying, no, we're going all the way back. We're studying Dr. Chancellor Williams as he talks about the mystery system. He talks about how decisions are made. He talks about putting together a collective, and you put your best brains forward. You put your best spirit forward. You open up your heart to come forward, and you bring what it is that you do. I say the spirit. And as you listen and hear them talk, Brother Mally, like that Mally is, I feel like I'm holding him back because he's ready to jump out there and start going. And they're like, come on, hold on, brother, hold on. Sister MIT Rhonda, she's ready to start going. Have to slow down. Let's finish this thing up. Got Brother Bill be out there talking, he got some dynamic ideas. And I think just putting it together, Brother Malik, like say the militancy of Ma'at. And then Brother Shango coming with this math law, like let's study the situation. Let's study what the needs of our people is. Let's study that, put that information together and move forward. Okay. And so when we look at having 6 ministers, I will say, can you imagine 6 new ministers? We have Minister Imhotep. We have Minister Alicia. We got Minister Emeritus Makalisi. We can actually have 7, 8 ministers with Wosay. We're not competing. We're putting our best foot forward to keep on moving. And as I want to wrap it up real quick, it says this morning we were looking at the book of Ptahhotep in the Hosea. And he says that be one of my favorite ones, and Makalisi he always fired this one up. Be diligent as long as you live, always doing more than is commanded of you. Do not miss your time. Follow your heart, for it is offensive to the soul to waste your time. Do not lose a daily opportunity to increase that which you have. Diligence produces gains, and gains do not endure when diligence is abandoned. We're coming together to do work, we'll say. Our future is, what we're looking at is we are being diligent. We don't want to waste our time. We are following our hearts. We're moving, we'll say, forward. We're moving on. Like I say, this is a movement. It's not a simple institution. Right, we are trying to change, and we have folks there, and anyone who's out there is interested, reach out and touch. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe.
Absolutely wonderful. So now we have heard from all but one of our pieces in training. Brother Shango is coming up, but hopefully someplace in there, whether it was Brother Malik, Brother Mally, Sister Rana, somebody said something that should have sparked something. Somebody said something where you should have said, oh, that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. And in a little while, we're going to tell you how you can join and be a part of something that you've heard thus far. And now, with the help of our awesome brother Jeff, we will have another song by Rudy Wangozi.
I'll get it right this time. I'm going to take my time.
It's okay, Baba.
Okay. Take my time.
You're doing good, bro.
I'll share it. Thank you, bro.
My teachers taught me that the Lord was someone to fear. And then one day through my tears, church to look like this. Every single day now, every single day, give me seeking reality. Every single day now, every single day, give me seeking my destiny. Slamming and jamming and skanking and bubbling and banging till all God's children are free. Changing vanity with my icon until eternity. Cause I'm seeking reality. Heavenly Father, seeking reality. Oh, yes, I'm seeking reality. Yes, I'm seeking reality. Every single day, now, every single day, say, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Say, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Every single day, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. I'm seeking reality. Heavenly Father, seeking reality. Oh, yes, I seeking reality. Yes, I seeking reality. Come on now.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Oh.
Ashe.
WOSE.
Yeah.
Seeking reality, loving the truth with all my heart and soul. Good thanks and praise for that, Rudy. Now coming up, our brother Shango, and he's going to be talking about Ile Omide. He's our designated liaison from the ministry to the school Ile Omide, and he's going to give us some insights on what he sees, his vision for connecting the theology of Wose community with Ile Omide. Brother Shango, please step in.
Good rising, Wose. My name is Baba Shango, and I would like to have permission from the elders to speak.
Speak up, my brother. Let us hear your voice.
Amun Ra, Holy One, thank you for the rising sun. Thank you for this day of life. May Amun Ra bless us all as we strive to be a blessing to others. I will discuss one of my roles as a chaplain for Ile Omide School. Due to time restrictions, I cannot go into all of my duties and responsibilities at this time. My journey began at the Ile Omide retreat that took place this August. And while there, we had various breakout groups. And within the breakout groups, we had various areas we had to cover. And my particular role that Baba Jahi, who's the director of the school, has suggested is working on developing a curriculum of spirituality for Wose. Now, in that breakup group were two dynamic sisters that was very instrumental in coming up with good ideas that we scribed and wrote down. The two sisters, one is Mama Pam, and the other is Mama Fanya. And we went through thinking through various tactics and various thoughts on it. So I'd like to thank those sisters for their input in the process. But first of all, I'd like to mention the mission of Ile Omide School. The mission is to sustain an educational institute in the best traditions of our ancestors and elders. We will give birth to the genius resident in every child, support parents in their efforts, and become models of right behavior and right order for their children, and provide a working environment that allows our educators to follow the passion of teaching and loving our children. We believe in the importance of the homeschool connection, which is critical to the success and educational program for the children. Wose Ileamade believes that existing in community requires social, spiritual, and political awareness and engagement. We are a community of differing religious backgrounds and political affiliations, but we feel it is more important that we practice responsible community stewardship regardless of religious beliefs or political affiliations. A brief description of the course material is as follows. This material will cover the spiritual system as practiced at Wose. The spiritual curriculum will be adapted across grades preschool through the 8th grade. The founders of the beginning, the founders at the beginning were concerned about having a school that would have a strong spiritual base. Such a curriculum would set an example for the children. There is a need to value our Africanness and have an undying love for our people. This is to be done by following the sacred African way. This curriculum will evolve out of the 4 pillars of Wose's mission. And those mission statements are as follows: to worship and praise the Most High in the ways of our ancestors, to learn and teach the history and culture of the African people, to build our relationship with the natural ecology as stewards of a healthy environment, and to pursue an agenda for social transformation. And within that, what we have is student learning outcomes. The curriculum is designed to achieve the following outcomes. 1, introduce students to learning about the spiritual orthodoxy of Wose, the House of Amun-Ra, a community of the sacred African way. 2, students will be able to give thanks to their ancestors and ask for their blessings. 3, students will be encouraged to restore African character and consciousness by a re-Africanization process. 4, students will be able to describe the philosophy of Wose. This proposed spiritual curriculum has been given to Baba Jahi for distribution to all the teachers for review and comment. And after their review and comment, I will consolidate their feedback into a final document. Also, during the school winter break, I will be working with Jahi on this project. So in essence, that's where we're at. And that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ashe, amen.
Very good story, Baba. Stick to it.
Very good.
Oh, wonderful. Another place for you to see where you might want to fit yourself in, where you might have a gift that you want to bring. Our youth are our future, our future. And coming up next, we have Brother Brian and Sister Zakia coming to bring us another fantastic song. To Be New Cultural Gatherers. Take it away.
Well, greetings again, Wose family. Again, it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. I was so fortunate enough to attend the Know Thyself Black Matters forum on Wednesday. I came on because Brother Wayne Chandler was scheduled to speak. Unfortunately, Wayne didn't have the opportunity to come on because he had some technical difficulties. But I did enjoy the program. There was a brother that came on for the first time. I believe his name was Kizzy Awado. and he kicked it real tough with Minister Ohotet. They got along real well. And that brother is just a wealth of knowledge and information. He's heavily Pan-Africanist, and he's just a brother that I really enjoyed hearing him speak. Hopefully Jose will consider having him come on as a guest lecturer as well. You know, I was so impressed with the meeting and just the fact that Brother Ty invited us to be a part of this 41st anniversary, that I went out and wrote a composition dedicated to Jose. And my wife wrote a poem dedicated to Jose. And we just was so elated because we have a lot of love for Jose, even though we're not members as yet. But Jose community service so many people that you don't even realize that they do. And not only here in the Bay Area, but all over the nation. So we're so proud to be here to salute Jose this afternoon. And I wrote a composition with the lyrics, and the music is called We Love You, Jose.
And my poem is entitled Jose, Community of the Sacred African Way.
We have traveled this road together throughout the days, the months, the years. Our faith has kept us strong through our happiness and fear. Many now are ancestors, but our flock is here to stay. We known throughout the nation as the community of the ancient ways. Jose, we love you. Jose is our home. Jose, thank you for the loving ancient spirit that we've known. Hey, 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 hey. Time has moved so swiftly as we reflect upon the past. 41 years ago, Jose community was cast. We treaded troubled waters with the faith of God at hand. The knowledge of our ancestors help us make a righteous stand. Jose, we love you. Jose is our home. Jose, we thank you for the loving ancient spirit that we know. Hey, 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 hey.
A measure of time comes to mind, thinking of how Jose, community of the sacred African way, has held up the culture for 41 years, teaching and uplifting the community through all the obstacles congregating, gathering, nourishing, spirit, mind, body, and soul, allowing love to elevate from hearts made of gold.
Rose, we love you. Rose is our home. Rose, we thank you for the loving ancient spirit that we've known. The knowledge of our ancestors has kept us strong. Dear Rose, beloved Rose, you're our home. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 you're our home.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Excellent.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you. Sure.
Ashe.
And inspired by us. We
Yes.
inspired them to again inspire us.
Yes, because Rose is doing a wonderful job here in the Bay community. And like the sisters say, there's so many things that we can do to outreach to one another, as well as to the entire community here in the Bay Area and around the nation. And I encourage Rose to continue the good work that they're doing. This pandemic has forced us into this Zoom thing, but the Zoom thing, once we were able to adjourn again in the sanctuary, hopefully we still can do a live broadcast as well around the country, because many people around the country will tune in and join Rose once they hear about Rose. So thank you again, Minister Hotep. Thank you again, Brother Ty. Thank you again for the committee who brought us here this afternoon. And we are just so pleased to be here. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful.
Brothers, that was excellent. That was top ranking. That was, as my friend Nantambu would say, Nantambu Mwengo would say, that was a bright moment. That was a bright moment, and give thanks. We need to record that. We need to get that as one of our regular traditions, and a beautiful spoken word along with it. Give thanks for all of that. And now we're going to have, so let's lock all the doors and close the windows, because we're going to take up collection now, which we refer to as Litany of Sacrifice. And we're bringing forth now Mama Darnisha and Babu Stadi.
All right. Good morning. Greetings, family. Good afternoon to those of you who are on the other side of the country. So glad to be here with you. Brother Bill is probably about to read my mind, puts up the addresses where you can send by snail mail, because there are some of us who are still using snail mail. And if that is your route, here it is. But you also have the websites of both Wose Oakland and Wose Sacramento. And if you go to either of those sites, you can click and pay through digital means. So glad to be here with my brother Baba Ustadi. We'll begin our litany of sacrifice. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all our people. Gladly, we bring our sacrifices to you. Let me say that one more time. Gladly, we bring our sacrifices to you. We praise your name, O Amen-Ra, for it is good.
Umoja, unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
Kujichagulia, self-determination. We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our communities together and make our sisters and brothers' problem our problem and solve them together.
Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Together, we shall build and maintain our own businesses and profit together from them.
Nia, purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can in any way we can to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, 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 faith, faith, faith. To believe with all our hearts in our gods, our parents, teachers, our leaders.
And in the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
I'd like to give a big give thanks to 41 years of blessings, love, and struggle to the Wosei community to move forward so we can see a better day, a better year, a better generation, and a better millennium of African people. I give thanks and praises for all of the brothers and sisters that have passed, that are no longer with us. And most of all, I give thanks and praises for us being together for 41 years. That's almost 2 generations. That's a blessing, blessings in disguise. I also like to give a big up to Brother Stiley Teasley, who prepared food for the event that we had last night, which turned out to be a little bit later than we expected to leave. But I give much respect for the brother cooking because I'm a lover of food. So thank you. I like to say a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, give us one more blessing to see another good day, another good year, another good millennium. We ask that you reach out and touch each brother and sister that's thinking about joining Wosei Joy, looking back and thinking about each child, each teenager, each elder. Say, pray for me, pray for my child. We're praying for you. So we want to just say thank you for all of those who have money to offer, those who do not have money to offer, to all of those who wanted to but couldn't. It's in your name, it's in your blessings, Heavenly Father, that we wait on your divine direction, because we know directions are out there. All we have to do is follow them. In your name we pray. I say, Ashe, Ashe.
Thanks and praise to the Most High for that prayer, Baba Ustadi, and for the giving and the givers. As we move on in our program, I want to thank everyone that has participated. I'd like to ask Minister Alicia if she would like to give some remarks, and then I'll add something, and then Minister Makalisi as we talk about Wosei Istery.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Greetings, everyone. I'll just say stuff quickly because, you know, I could give the next 2 hours of thanks and praises and all those things to and for Wosei. I would just want to quickly say that, you know, Wosei has been around the majority of my life, although I have not been privy to Wose until it started to come into my awareness in my late teens, early 20s. And so I've been here for about 20 years. And so I'm thankful for Wose to be an anchor for my family, a place of refuge for my children, a place of learning and enlightenment for myself, for my husband, for my children. And Wose has done an enormous work in Oakland as well as in Sacramento in basically being what it says it is, you know, and trying to work together in a spirit of unity, coming together in its Africanness, loving African people, moving forward in Ujima, you know, all those things, putting our feet to the ground and actually being a part. And whether it be one person or all of us, we, you know, represent Wose. And I'm thankful for the people who stepped out at the beginning and said, you know, let's step out of the box and see what's going on here as we are learning new truths and things of that nature, so that Wose could be a thriving and developing community, a spiritual institution, growing into schools and places of education and learning, just as its namesake of Wose in ancient Kemet. So I would just like to thank everyone who is new. Thank you everyone who is also you know, the founders and foundation of Wose. So I just want to thank everybody. Is a happy anniversary, Wose. Like, everyone should be so happy and proud and joyous today. This is an exciting day. This is an exciting time. I'm loving every minute of it. The music is great. The African faces are wonderful and beautiful and shining and radiant. The vision of the future is bright and holy and vibing high. There's no negativity. It's just so positive, and I'm just so thankful for you all. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks.
Minister Alicia, thank you. Thank you. I want to apologize to Minister Makalisi. You know, just in running and trying to get ready for things, I completely forgot first Sunday is his meditation Sunday. And I'm sorry, Minister, that, you know, I stepped in. I was, you know, so excited about what I was doing. And then I thought, oh God, oh yes, that's right. So Minister Makalisi is leading our meditation on the first Sunday. Sister Rashonda Ziegler is leading the meditation on the second Sunday. All right, I want to just share a few things before Minister Makalisi comes. And so I was talking to Mama Afua earlier this week. She gave me a call, and she woke up with this scripture, Ptah-hotep #2, on her mind. And she was excited because she thought we were going to be meeting at Holly Street. There were going to be some people at Holly Street, and we were going to bring this forward. But I just wanted to bring this forward for her, which says, if you are a leader and command many, strive for excellence in all that you do, so that no fault may be found in your character. For Mott, the way of truth, justice, and righteousness is great. Its value is lasting and has remained unequaled and unchanged since the time of its creator. It lies as a plain path even before the ignorant, and those who violate its laws are punished. Although wickedness may gain wealth, wrongdoing has never brought its wares to a safe port. In the end, it is Mott, the way of truth, justice, and righteousness that endures and enables the upright to say, it is the legacy of my mother and father. And this morning.
And may I also say that that section of the Hosea is on page 41. And it came to me that this is our first anniversary, and a wonderful message that we've all looked at is on page 41.
All right.
41 and 41.
All right, thank you. And my wife woke up this morning saying, "Oh, it's Gwen Goodbeer's birthday today." And Sister Gwen Goodbeer is one of the original members of WOSE. Next to Makalisi and Bill, I would say that there were three people that were really instrumental in growing WOSE in those early days. One is Sister Gwen Goodbeer here, who we celebrate her birthday today. And then also Sister Vandine Philippot. And lastly, Sister Willia Gray. And we talk about how, you know, WOSE had gotten sudden notoriety and the church began to grow. But one of those people that was responsible for bringing people like Sweet Honey and the Rock and the Haitian refugees and other people like that, famous people, the Minister of Information for Grenada and people like that. That person was Willia Gray, and we don't mention her enough, I think, because when I think of those early days, Willia was one of the ones that got a lot of people to know about us. I want to play a few things. There's so much that I can recall, and I don't want to belabor some things, but there are just some videos now I just want to share just shortly. And so I believe what I'm pulling up now is some youth at WOSE that talked about Kwanzaa. They did a little play, and you might remember or might know this youth that's going to talk now.
It's Christmas Eve. The smells, sights, and sounds of Christmas are everywhere. People are rushing around buying those last-minute Christmas presents. There's a Santa at every corner. Imani and Kumba are not thinking about Christmas. They're shopping for their Kwanzaa celebration. They haven't celebrated Christmas in years. While shopping, they saw a few old friends they hadn't seen for a long time, Donna and Jessie.
Hey, Kumba, this is Donna and Jessie. So what's happening, guys? We haven't seen you for a long time.
Hey, we're doing great since the last time we saw you. We opened up a school. The name of our school is Umaja. It's an Afrocentric school for children between the ages 4 through 12 years old. And we're open between 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. The school keeps us very busy.
I bet it does. I thought you were working for the state. What happened? Did you get laid off or something? No, we did not get laid off. We had planned for a long time to start a new school. We decided to devote our time, talent, and money to educating our children. So we opened up the school to fulfill a need in our community. I really admire your commitment.
Well, Donna and I are still working for the state. We don't like a job, but it pays the bills.
So, what are you doing for the holidays?
So that's one. And those of you that can tell, that was Mariana. I think she was about 11 or 12 then. And then one time we were in this park. It's called Lowell Park. And we were singing this song.
How y'all doing out there today? Thank you, praise to the Most High for being here. The WOSE Community Church Choir, known as the Stones of Fire. My name is Jaruba. Give thanks to the Most High for African Liberation Day, the coming together of all African people. We're going to sing a song to let you know how we feel about our mother. She's called Africa, and we love her. So deep, deep in my heart.
So I'm going to stop it there. The sound isn't so good, but I just want to acknowledge these people. This is Brother Sarkey, and we can't see him now, but young James Calhoun was playing drums. He was 12 years old at the time. This is Monica Hand. She has passed on to the ancestors. She was the wife of Brother Damu Sudi Ali. And this is Baba Mahib. The Holmes family was kind of like a center anchor family in Wose, and after services, we would go by their house on Picardy. People would just fall in, and we would bring dishes, and sometimes the men would go out in the backyard, and the sisters would be in the house, or they would be preparing something. This is Sister Anita, and here's Jasiri. And one of the things I remember about Jasiri is that she would always, sometimes you don't have harmony in choir necessarily. And Jasiri would always say, I just want to sing. And this sister, we don't talk about her too much anymore. I guess a lot of people weren't around when she was with Wose community. Her name was B. Woods, and she changed her name to Ashaki. And she was one of those early members of Wose. And I remember her, she was always very cold, and she was always wrapping up. And she was like the Aretha Franklin of the Stones of Fire. This is Olaremi Hodari. So, and then the person that opened up, of course, was Jaruba. So that sound isn't so good. So I'm going to stop it. Maybe when I get together with Baba Jeff and Brother Bill, we can pull out the sound together. And then I found this video here. Look, there's Ty, and there's a Conke, and this was an anniversary. I forget what year, but I didn't have any gray hair then. All right. You might recognize this brother.
Ready to walk to work, yeah. Ready to walk to work, yeah. Ready to walk to work, yeah. Ready to walk to work. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. When you young palega, when you young palega, es un tama,
willy, 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 won't that? I willy, willy.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So I just wanted to share those moments. There's a lot of work to do. I'm glad to see that so many people are still excited and still concerned and still want to work with Wose community. As we progress in the future, we're going to have to do futuristic things. We're going to have to get our social media right and tight. We're going to have to get our other outreach things that people do today. And it may seem difficult, but if we want to encourage young people to be participants with us, we're going to have to get our social media, our YouTube, our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. There's Black organization. Darnisha sent me something just yesterday. Darnisha, what was that you sent me? I joined, but I can't remember the name of it.
And see, now you're going to put me on the spot here. It is an all Black media app, and I found it. It's called Our Black Trust.
Our Black Truth. Our Black Truth.
Our Black Truth. And it is a new app that is trying to capture issues of importance to the Black community, advanced by a doctor that I know on the East Coast who's doing a lot of work between the United States and the continent. And just as a FYI, the app is having some problems because their name is close to the name of the new app that crazy orange guy has created. And so it's created a little backlash because apparently there's some similarity in the titles.
All right. Well, be that as it may, thank you, Darnisha. Be that as it may, these are the things that we're going to need to do. These are the tools that we're going to have to master in order to get our word out. We have excellent elders and leaders, some that are officially members and some that are not. But we need to get, as was stated by Sister Rana earlier, we need to target people between 25 and 40. That's a good target market for us to be reaching out to. I have a lot more to say about that, but I think in the interest of time, I'm going to pass the talking stick to my friend, our co-founder, our Minister Emeritus, Minister Kolisi Ososawandi.
Shit. I'm in Rahitep Wose.
Uncle Johnson,
for this day, 41 years of our existence, of our growth, of our ups and our downs, and mostly the ups in spite of the downs. Just giving thanks and praises to the Most High, to the ancestors, to all the members of the Wose community over the years, and all of you who are here with us now. I just have a few things about Wose history that I would like to share with you. Some of you probably know some of this already. Wose didn't start off with a deep knowledge of our African spiritual traditions, with a deep knowledge of Kemet. I think Minister Calhoun probably had a deeper knowledge than the rest of us who were part of the beginning group, which was about 5 or 6 folks that met on some sort of a fairly regular basis and discuss getting this community started. But we came out of, both Bill and I came out of Allen Temple Baptist Church in East Oakland, where we met, but we didn't have a lot of conversation back and forth. Bill was far along in his seminary studies. I hadn't began any seminary studies, and when I did go, I didn't stay because they weren't they weren't saying anything that really resonated with me. But at any rate, I started training for ministry at Allen Temple under Pastor J. Alfred Smith over there. And after a while, it got to the point where he allowed me to preside over a communion service one Sunday. And I was drawn to Allen Temple because I had been exposed to Pastor Smith at different events and hear him raise up prayers, and he would close the prayers not only in the name of Jesus, but in the names of warriors of our way, of our history. We call them out by name. That's interesting. And after I finished school at Cal State Hayward, I was editor of the California Voice, and I was writing some columns that was criticizing the Black church for not being more involved in issues confronting us. This was in the early 1970s. And he came by and said, "Who's writing these columns?" I said, "Well, it's me. I want you to come to my church and share some of your views with my congregation." And so I did, and I ended up joining the church there and then getting the inspiration to get into ministry. And so it got to this Sunday when I was allowed to preside over the communion. And during that time, one of the things in my life that had changed my life so significantly was the birth of the Kwanzaa tradition. And so on that Sunday, as I was presiding over the communion, I began to say to the people, there's some folks who, not necessarily Christians, but they celebrate some principles. They're trying to live some principles that we as Christians ought to be doing, and in some ways are doing. And so I'm talking about people who know and embrace Kwanzaa, Nguzo Saba, that celebration, that way of life. Well, the pastor got up and pulled me down. All you got to know is Jesus. And so that was a signal to me, well, I guess I'm not going to be long here. And not too long after that, both Bill and I were called into the pastor's office. I don't know what kind of interactions or conversations he might have been having with Bill, but one of the things that he said that impacted the both of us significantly, he said, "Well, you guys, kind of stuff you want to do, you're going to have to start your own church." Bing, the light came on. And so wasn't long after that I shared with Bill, I'm leaving Allen Temple. I got another church in mind where I think I'm going to have a better chance to express what I believe. And he said, "Well, wait a minute, let me tell you about what I want to do." So we had some conversation and we agreed, okay, let's get it on, let's work together. So that's how we'll say, got started, how the two of us got our hearts, our minds together to get We'll Say started. I'm gonna skip some things. One of the things I want to share is that we had a fairly a good relationship with Allen Temple after we left there and got We'll Say started. But in I think it was our second year of existence, and we had invited Pastor Smith to be our anniversary speaker. He came, but he brought a minister with him that who was given to give the message. And this minister got up, I don't remember his name, and he paid attention to the Allen Temple choir that was there with them, and he spoke to them more than he spoke to the We'll Say audience, the We'll Say membership. And he said, "Don't y'all get all excited about this place. This is just a cult. It ain't gonna last." Well, we're still here. We're still here. And I anticipate that we're gonna last much longer, especially with those ministers and ministers in training that you heard from today, that they have commitments, they have ideas, they have vision that's in harmony with what Minister Imhotep was saying. And so I'm looking forward to be able to participate and support that. And I hope each and all of you are, that we've got years to be here and we have needs as a people for us and others like us to be here, to get change our hearts and minds and spirits of our people, young and old alike. I know when the ancestors were being called, I think it was my sister Akake who remembered and called out Sister Patricia Newton, Dr. Patricia Newton, not related to Huey as far as I know, but who knows, could be. But she was a psychiatrist, psychologist, and she I had some interview with her a couple of times, and she said, yeah, in Nguzo Saba, if we do that on a daily basis, a real serious basis, that's something that our people need that can change our hearts and minds and get into the structure and the functionings of our psychology, how our brains function. And I'm happy that Rosé embraces Nguzo Saba, celebrates Nguzo Saba. Along those lines, I don't know if it's our first year or our second year when we were called and chosen to provide the facility and leadership for the first night of Kwanzaa for the Bay Area. And I give thanks for having a relationship with Sister McKenya. Was in Merritt College with her, and we were interacting some school politics and various things there. But anyway, like I say, it's either our first or second year, we got invited to be facilitating the first night of Kwanzaa. And being a spiritual community, we had been embracing Nguzo Saba with Imani first. And so we brought that to the celebration. And we started talking about Imani, and everybody looked at us like, what? We all know who you are, what you're doing. And so we got a little spanking that night, but we got it in order. And so Rosé has been facilitating the first night of Kwanzaa since that time, since 81 or 1981, I believe. All right. So, like I said, initially we didn't have any real depth of understanding of Kemet tradition, but lo and behold, in 1984, ASCAC came into being. And a number of us went down to Southern California, LA area for that meeting, and we were blessed with the outpouring of our scholars, those African warrior scholars bringing that information, and hey, Rosé turned the corner, and we've been heading on the sacred African way ever since, getting as deeply as we could into the tradition and what it calls us to do, what it calls us to be diligent about. Ashe. See, what else I want to say? Well, let's see, we had a nice location over there on Galindo. We had a pretty good arrangement, financial arrangement. But after a couple of years there, we came one Sunday morning to open up to get ready for the service, and the key we had wouldn't work. The door was, what's going on here? And so before we could get on the phone and call the manager of the place, he showed up and said, well, the place is being sold to another community group, and you're not going to be able to use the facility anymore after today. So we had to get to busy, and Brother Bill had been working on what we know as the Ice Palace there down in near downtown Oakland, Alice Street, and made a deal arrangements with them so we could move over there, and so we did get to the Ice Palace, and we were there for a while. And I think almost from the beginning of being there, folks were thinking about, I hope we don't be here too long. This place is cold. It's cold in the winter. And the woman who owned the place, I guess she owned it, was part of the well-known Warner family. And she wouldn't leave the building while we were there. She would sometimes try to sit in and observe what we were doing, but I think she felt the spirit like, hey, we don't want you in here. And she'd be somewhere in the building, And we never had a key to the building. Whenever we were there, she had to come and let us in. And so we were happy when we were able to get out of there. But while we were there, Ile came into being. We were having some discussions. We were meeting with some so-called experts, and they was telling us, and you can't open a school if you don't have at least 1 year of resources stored away, financial, material, otherwise. And we were a long way from that. And so we had these meetings on Sundays after worship service, and there was 3 sisters, Oluri Oyen, Mama Jasiri,
Okanona.
Yeah, Mama Okanona Holmes. So following one of those Sundays when we had a discussion, we come back the next Sunday, we were trying to get organized for another discussion about what to do. We said, hey, the school opened last Monday. The school is open. And so, we can have whatever discussion we need to have, but the school has started. We're over, Mama Oyen has rearranged the furniture and whatever in her home, and school is started. I think we had about 9 or 10 students for the first sessions. And so that's how Ile Omide came into being. And we've been blessed over the years to have good leadership for Ile Omide with generally, for the most part, we had women who were heads of the school and their husbands were supportive of them. And then, let's see, now we have Brother Jahi. He's been head of the school now for about 15, 16 years or more. And Mama Sia, his wife, his partner, supported him. Well, I understand when they were in school in San Diego, they met and they had this commitment that when they get out of school, they were going to be of service to our people. And they've lived up to that, extensively. I'm getting close to the end here. See, when we were wanting to get out of that ice palace down there, looking around trying to find some place, Baba Mehi and Sister Okanona, I'm not sure which one of them, or both of them together, they came across this place over here on 8924 Holly Street it looked like, we thought it was, I did anyway, it belonged to the Baptist church on the corner. But it was a building, at one point they had some programs run there by Alameda County, but at this point in 1984, 85, it was vacant. Well, it wasn't really vacant. There were homeless people living in there. And when we got inside to look at the place, I mean, it was a mess. It was a mess. You want to move in this place? Well, we found out who owned the place. It was the brother and the family that owned the place. And we made an agreement with them. They offered us a price that we said, okay. Well, we'll say community didn't have enough money to meet that price. And so there was 4 of us who decided, now we're going to put some money together with Wose's money. And so Wose ended up about 53% of the money. The other 47% came from Brother Dr. Robert Thornton, Brother General Kofi Ampim, Brother Charles Brown, as well as myself. And so we put that together, got to purchase the property. It was an Ujamaa operation. We were promised by Wose, we'll pay you back. And it wasn't a quick payback. It took a while. And Brother Robert, Dr. Thornton had put the most money from what we had, what we call it the Heru Enterprise. And I kept checking with him. You okay, brother? They're gonna get the money. He said, don't worry about it. I trust him. I know it will happen. And so it did happen. Wose got to the point, the value of the property went up. Wose could go to the bank and get the money that it needed to reimburse us for our share of the property. Of course, the property's value had gone up, and so we didn't the value of the property that exceeded the funds that we put in, we donated to WOSE, and then we got a tax break on that. So we got our money back, we got a little bit of interest from WOSE, and we got the tax break. So it was a genuine Ujamaa project that we all benefited from. And so we've been there at Ile-Omade at 8924 Holly Street ever since. And so there's a lot of other details I could go into, but I'm going to stop there and just say, you know, we worked together to exist, to survive, to build, to deal with the ups and downs. And we had some significant downs, but even more, we had significant determination that no, this community is going to survive. This community is going to be diligent in the sacred African way. And so I'm hearing that and feeling that, and these ministers in training that are here with us now, that we're going to have that diligence. We're going to do all we can, every day we can, every way we can, to keep WOSE community and the sacred African way alive and well, functional and effective for a more beautiful existence for us as a people. And that's where I'm stopping. I'm saying, Ashe, Amen Ra, Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. I would like for everyone, thank you, Minister Makalisi, for giving that history of WOSE, the evolution, the coming about, an overview of the past 41 years. I'd like for everyone to focus on Mama Kanke Payton's picture, and that is a picture of the original Ile-Omade students sitting at Mama Oyen's house. And you know, that let me make the picture bigger for myself. Let's see, where did she go now? Let's see, where'd you go? Kanke.
I'm here.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at the picture. So that's Jasiri there, and I see like Ra'iye and Kwabena and Okanona and Mike.
We don't see the picture.
Huh? Oh yeah, it's hard to see. You'd have to focus on that. I'm not really sure if I need to pin that picture, but if I pin it, it might be only for me. But you can perhaps somebody can put that picture in the chat. I'm not sure. So I also see here, it appears, somebody said, it appears to be under a zeitgeist force that emphasize Black people, African people moving in unison. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, okay. Oh, where'd it go? Okay.
It keeps going off.
Oh yeah, it's hard to see it, but thank you. We'll if you could take a picture of it with your phone and email it to yourself and put it in the chat or something like that. But that's the original picture, and actually, that picture is found here in it's found in our anniversary booklet that was put together by Baba Tai last year. So it's there. All right. Hey, check. I want to extend an invitation to you today. We have 50 people that have remained. We started at 10. It's 1:16 now. We've had a wonderful service, wonderful music, wonderful organization. I want to thank Mama Ngina and all of those that were involved in putting this together. If I start listing people, I'm going to forget. So I'm just going to say I want to thank everyone that had a part in this program, this 41st anniversary celebration today. I want to thank you for all the remarks that were given, the songs that were sung. But right now, we're going to extend the invitation to you. And we would like for you to join us, to say, hey, I want to be a part of this. I want to restore our people to our traditional greatness. I want to learn more about Mott. I want to learn more and study more about the Ngusa Saba. I want to learn more about the history, the herstory, the history of African people. And so now, would you raise your hand, or would you let us know in some way in the chat, by raising your hand to join us today? And so we extend the invitation to you. Oh, wait a minute. I need to give some invitation music. Sorry. So.
Lovely.
Is there one? I'm not as talented as Rudy, but
let's do your best.
Yes. Okay. All right. Somebody put that screenshot on there. Give that. It's coming up. So that picture is there. Hey, you know what? This is Al Kabalon has just come into the African science reading room, and so she would like to say something. Oh, I thought you did want to say. Oh no, I'm sorry. She did not want to say anything, but here she is, right here. All right.
We were teenagers when we came.
We were teenagers when, at least one of us was when we came. All right.
Now we're getting Social Security.
Now we're on Social Security. All right. Minister Makalisi, I didn't see where anybody joined. We got to do something about that. But Minister Makalisi, would you close us out? We'll lift every voice and sing.
All right, lift every voice and sing. Just giving thanks and praises for this day of celebration of the Spirit of Mott with us, of the essence of the Most High with us, and want to say, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. March on with Amen Ra. March on in the spirit of Mott. March on with septepi power every day, every hour. And let's do all we can for truth and justice throughout the land. The sacred African way, Uncle Johnson Ebashe. March on with Amen Ra. March on.
Yes. Ooh. Thank you.
And now unto them who is able to lift us up faultlessly before the throne on high. May they empower us to be a people with one aim,
One
vision,
One vision.
one faith,
One faith.
one destiny,
One
destiny.
One love.
One love.
One love.
One love.
One love.
One love.
One heart.
One heart.
One God.
One God.
Let us call upon the name of that one God, as our ancestors and elders have done for countless generations, for time immemorial. Let us all say together. You are the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. Amen.